Why did I start CDR Navigator? Well, there's really three things that go together, puzzle pieces to me. One is dietitians are very smart. We are information junkies and we do not get paid enough for as hard as we work. And so you put all three of those things together, and the obvious answer to me is continuing education products that we can sell, because there's 100,000 dietitians in this country who need 1.5 million CEUs every year. And there's tons of dietitians who have great information. So it's just a matter of putting together the dietitians who need the information with the dietitians who have the information. The one missing piece in the middle is CDR. In order to give continuing education credits for your work, you have to get through the CDR process, and it's a bit of a maze, especially if you haven't ever done it before. And that's what CDR Navigator does. The idea being that if you have information, there's someone out there who wants it. I mean, the question mark is just, how do you become someone who gives CEUs? And it turns out anyone can do it. You just have to go through the application process. And it's unfortunately not as easy as that sounds, but once you've done it, it becomes easier, and I wanted to help other people get through it too. Now, if you're making $500K, you may not want to hear what I have to say, or you may, because if you're working too hard for that money, you might want a source of passive income. On the other end of the spectrum, if you're making 30 grand and you can pay all your bills and you're perfectly happy, you may not need this information either, but you may still want to get the reach, to expand the reach of the information that you have beyond the people that you'll meet personally, even if you don't actually care about making money from your product. Now, there are dietitians who want your information even if you don't give CEUs for it, so that's okay too. But because we deserve to get credit for the things that we learn, having a product that is approved for CEUs helps people find out about your product, and also helps people get the credit that they deserve for learning the information. Now, it kind of feels like being behind the scenes, let's say, like being able to write a note to get you out of gym class. You know, it feels like kind of having power, like being able to approve something for CEUs and give out certificates. It kind of feels like something that mere mortals shouldn't be allowed to do. And the truth is, it's really not a difficult thing, because you may not know that you don't actually have to make a course specifically for dietitians. In other words, if you teach a class to consumers, whether it's about meal prepping or what to put in your backpack to eat for a 3-day hike, or how to build a charcuterie board, or anything else, your course can already be approved as is for dietitians, as long as it's applicable to the dietitians and as long as it was developed by at least one dietitian. Whether it's a business course, it could be anything. As long as it was developed by a dietitian and is applicable to the dietitians, it's eligible to be submitted for CEUs. And that means that a lot of you watching this already have a product that just needs to go through the CDR process. If you've already written a book, let's say 1,000 dietitians have already read your book. If you could get 5 CEUs for $10 for a book you've already read, that's $10,000 you could make just by putting together the CEU application and the multiple choice test that you need for your book. And so then all the dietitians that are already in your fan base who want to get those 5 CEUs, you don't even have to do any marketing almost, essentially. It's just saying, here, let's give you the credit for the book that you already read. I feel like if you already have something, that's a great option. But if you don't already have something, that's a great option too. We can walk you through the whole process, all the way from the idea into the creation of the product. Because if people ask you for advice, that means you know something that not everybody knows. And sometimes we discount our gifts because if it comes easily to you, you don't realize that it doesn't come easily to other people. And so there are people who want that information. And if you find yourself either giving away your advice or only being able to reach the people that are in your geographic area, think about the fact that having a CEU product means that someone can get that information when you're not on duty. It might be 1 o'clock in the morning where you are, when they're waking up and they need that information. Or it might be 1 o'clock in the morning where you are and you're asleep, but they need that information because they can't sleep and they have something going on tomorrow where they need that info. And just think, they can't reach you, but they can reach your information if it's out there on the internet, and you wake up in the morning and there's money in the bank. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. So, you know, it's really just a matter of putting the pieces together, and that's what CDR Navigator is for.